In this example, it says a rectangle has a perimeter of 54 miles and its area is 170 square miles. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. For the purpose of this problem only, the width is shorter than the length. And then it wants us to answers numbers and round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So for this example, let's start with our drawing. So we're talking about a rectangle. And the only thing I know is that the perimeter is 54 miles and that the area is 170. Now I do know that the perimeter formula is 2 times the length times 2 times the W, and that the area formula is the length times the width. Okay, so I am going to substitute what I know in this problem. So I know that P is 54. Okay, I don't know L and I don't know W. And again, I know that the area is 170. Now, I am going to use substitution method to solve this, and I'm going to also use Lero equations, the concept. So I'm going to start with the area formula, and here I am going to solve for L. I'm going to solve for the length. So I need to divide by the W on both sides. Okay. That leaves me with 170 over W equals the L. Now I'm going to substitute, right? This L in here. So that will look like this. 54 equals 2 times 170 over W plus 2W. Okay. Now I am going to solve this. I'm going to simplify a little bit, right? Let's just use that. Now I'm going to simplify a little bit. Simplify. Okay. So I'm going to distribute the 2. So that leaves me with this. 54 equals, okay, remember, 2 times 170. What is that? 170 times 2 gives you 340. 340 over W, right? Go back again. Forget what I had. Plus 2W. Okay. Now I don't want fractions. I want to cancel that fraction. So I want to cancel the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by the LCD. In this case, the least common denominator is W. So I'm going to multiply this side right here by W, right here by W, and right here by W. So I am left with 54W equals this W and this cancel, 340 plus 2W squared. Now I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to minus the 54W. Okay. This cancels. I'm left with 0 equals 340 minus 54W plus 2W. Just for the sake of this, I'm going to rewrite it in descending order so it looks nicer. 2W squared minus 54W plus 340. Okay. Now I am going to use the quadratic formula to solve. So I know that A is 2, B is 54, and C is 340. I'm going to go ahead and substitute it here so we know. Or let's substitute in another page because I'm running out of space, right? Again, just in case we have forgotten, this is our quadratic formula. Negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC over 2A. I'm using W because that's what I'm solving for, W. So I'm substituting. B is negative 54. W equals negative 54 plus or minus negative 54 squared minus 4 times 2 times 340, right? Yep. Divided by 2 times 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and simplify this little by little. Negative times negative is positive, right? Plus or minus. That seems like a big number. 54 times 54. So 54 squared gives you 2,916. And then we have 4 times 2 times 340. Gives me minus 2,720 divided by 4. Continue to simplify. We have 54 plus or minus. What is that? 2,916 minus 2,720. 196. What a nice number. Over 4. Okay. So 96 is not it's a perfect square. It gives you 14. Very nice number. Let's get to another page. So I'm going to say I have W equals 54 plus the square root of 196 divided by 4. Then I have W equals 54 minus the square root of 196 divided by 4. This gives me 54 plus the square root of 196 is 14 over 4. 14 plus 54, 68 divided by 4. Does that simplify to a nice number? 17. Perfect. So this is 54 minus 14 over 4. And then we have 54 minus 14 gives us 40. Divided by 4 gives us 10. And as directions instructed, let's go back to the problem. It says, for this problem, for the purpose of this problem, the width is the shortest length and the length is the largest, of course. So the width is shorter than the length. So we could say that the width is 10 and the length is 17. So let's go back and write that there. The width is 10 and the length is 17. And we can double check this to be sure. Think about the perimeter is 54. So if it says, use yellow. If it says that the width is 10, so this is 10 here, this is 10 here, this is 17, this is 17. That should add to 54. So 10 plus 17 plus 10 plus 17. That does add to 54. So that's perfect. So this is definitely checks. And then 170, if we do, because the area is 170, it should be the length times the width. We do 17 times 10, that does give you 170. So you can double check that. So both of them check. So these are your two answers.